The galaxy had many laws written by great empires, but one law was whispered in every corner with fear. It was not written on stone tablets or glowing alien crystals. It was spoken like a curse. No alien may set foot on Earth. This warning came not from alien kings or councils. It came from the humans themselves. Aliens had tried to test this law once, long ago. Whole fleets had disappeared. Soldiers never returned. Trade ships burned in silence. The galaxy learned slowly, painfully. Earth was not like other worlds. Humans were not like other species. But few young races always believed legends were only stories. They thought the warning was only a myth to keep others away from the blue planet. They laughed in secret. How could a small world stop the galaxy? How could one species keep empires afraid? They wanted proof. They wanted glory. In a hidden meeting on a distant station, 5 alien captains gathered. Their ships were strong. Their armies were ready. Their plan was simple. Land on Earth, record proof, and return as heroes. They thought humans would not even notice. But they were wrong. The moment their ships crossed into the solar system, Earth watched. From hidden stations on the moon to satellites lost in the shadow of planets, eyes turned to the intruders. The humans had prepared for centuries. They had built weapons the galaxy had never seen. They did not speak, they did not warn again. They only watched, waiting. Captain Vorak of the Grak species looked at the blue planet on his screen. His voice shook as he laughed. This is Earth. This is the world the galaxy fears? A ball of water and dirt. His crew laughed with him, but some felt unease. The silence of space around them was too perfect. No signals. No threats. Only quiet. That quiet felt heavy. Then, one of the alien ships lost power. Lights flickered. Engines failed. The captain screamed orders but the ship drifted. On their screens, words appeared in a human language and then in every alien tongue. Simple words. Clear words. Turn back. Earth is off limits. The captains looked at each other. How had humans taken control of their systems? No one had touched the controls. No one could fight it. Fear crawled into their bones. Some wanted to retreat, but pride was stronger. They ignored the warning. They moved forward. Earth's surface came closer, clouds swirling, oceans shining. The aliens saw no fleets, no weapons, no armies. Only a quiet planet. Captain Vorak shouted, "See? Nothing but stories." But then the stars themselves seemed to bend. Shadows moved where no ships should be. The humans revealed nothing, yet every alien heart felt it. They were being hunted. The first ship exploded without sound, only fire and light. The second vanished, pulled into darkness as if space itself swallowed it. The last 3 ships turned to run, but their engines would not obey. Once again, the words came. You were warned. No alien may set foot on Earth. Vorak screamed as his screen filled with static. His final thought before the fire was not of glory, not of conquest, but of terror. The humans had not shown themselves, but their power was everywhere. The galaxy would hear this message again, louder this time. The warning was real. The curse was true. Far away, in council halls and war rooms, alien leaders listened in silence as broken signals reached them. They heard the screams. They saw the last images from the invaders. And they remembered the ancient warning. Earth was forbidden. Humanity's law was unbroken. But deep in the shadows of space, whispers began again. Some said humans were gods in flesh. Some said they made pacts with the void. Some said they were only clever with machines. No one agreed. But everyone agreed on one thing. Earth was not to be touched. And yet, even as fear spread, there were always those who could not resist. Those who wanted to test the legend once more. The galaxy held its breath, for the humans had spoken, and their echo would not fade. The destruction of the alien fleet spread across the galaxy like fire on dry grass. Every system heard fragments of the screams. Every council replayed the final warning. Some believed it. Some denied it. But all felt the weight of fear. On the trade world of Veros, merchants whispered the story to one another. The humans did not even launch ships, they said. The invaders vanished without seeing an enemy. On military outposts, commanders shook their heads. If true, humanity holds weapons beyond understanding. And on poor colonies, children spoke in awe. Earth is guarded by ghosts. But in the Great Galactic Council, the most powerful voices refused to believe. They claimed the invaders had fallen to accident, to bad engines, to superstition. Human threats are smoke, one senator said. If they had power, they would have taken the stars already. His words were bold, but his eyes betrayed doubt. Still, not all dismissed the story. One species listened carefully, the Kale, masters of spies and shadows. To them, truth was more valuable than pride. Their leader, Lord Seraph, ordered silence among his court. He raised one long finger and spoke in a calm voice. We will test the humans again. Not with fleets. Not with armies. With silence. The Kale would not attack. They would infiltrate. No great ships. Only hidden probes, shaped like rocks and ice, drifting into the solar system without signal. If the humans truly controlled the void, they would see. If not, the Kale would find Earth secrets. Weeks later, the first probe reached the asteroid belt. Its eyes opened, cameras turning toward the distant blue planet. It sent signals in coded bursts, hidden in the noise of space. For 3 hours it worked without trouble. Then the feed went dark. Not destroyed. Not broken. Simply turned off. As if someone had pressed a switch. The Kale engineers were baffled. Perhaps solar radiation, they argued. Perhaps malfunction. So a second probe was launched. Then a third. Then a 10th. All ended the same way. Silence. Every machine that neared Earth was cut from its master. At last, Lord Seraph called his council. His eyes glowed in the dark chamber as he spoke. The humans are not fools. They are not weak. Something waits on that planet, watching everything that enters. We must tread carefully. But not all agreed. One of his generals, bold and ambitious, slammed his clawed hand against the table. Fear has poisoned you. The humans only bluff. I will prove it. He demanded a covert mission, one Kale strike team sent to the surface of Earth itself. No fleets, no armies. Only shadows. The council fell into uneasy silence. None wished to defy the warning. None wished to touch Earth. But ambition burns hotter than fear. And so, in secret, the mission was approved. 5 Kale operatives prepared in silence. They were trained in invisibility, in disguise, in moving without trace. Their ship was small, cloaked from every eye, silent as dust. They swore to walk on Earth and return with proof. They believed they could escape the humans' gaze. As their ship approached the atmosphere, they saw clouds drift like oceans of white. They saw green forests and endless seas. Earth looked calm, fragile, even beautiful. One of them whispered, almost with wonder, "This is the forbidden world." The leader silenced him. "Remember your training. Do not speak of beauty. Speak only of the mission. We land. We record. We leave." The ship pierced the clouds. No alarms. No human fleets. No fire from the sky. The Kale smiled in victory. Perhaps the humans were only a legend after all. Perhaps fear had made fools of the galaxy. But as their feet touched the soil for the first time, the air itself seemed to tremble. The forest around them grew silent. Not a bird sang. Not a leaf stirred. It was as if the planet itself had felt their arrival. Then a voice came, not from the trees, not from the sky, but inside their own minds. Calm. Cold. Endless. You were warned. The Kale froze in terror. Their mission had only just begun, yet they already felt the gaze of something greater than armies, greater than fleets. Humanity had seen them. And humanity was waiting. The Kale operatives stood frozen as the voice echoed inside their minds. None of them moved. None of them dared to breathe. Their leader, Commander Zaith, tried to steady his voice. "Ignore it. This is trickery. Keep moving." But even as he spoke, he felt the weight of invisible eyes pressing down on him. The forest around them seemed alive, every branch pointing, every shadow watching. The team activated their cloaking devices. Their bodies shimmered and vanished from sight. No scanners could detect them now. Yet the voice returned, calm and unshaken. Your tricks mean nothing. You were warned. The youngest of the operatives, Caliph, trembled. His training told him to be silent, but fear broke through. They can see us. Even cloaked. His words echoed in the empty forest, but no bird or beast stirred. The silence grew heavier. Zaith clenched his jaw. Move to the extraction point. Quickly. We take proof and leave. The team pushed forward, stepping deeper into the forest. Their scanners recorded samples, soil, plant life. Everything seemed normal, almost disappointingly so. Yet with every step, the pressure grew. Their minds ached as if the planet itself was leaning closer to listen. Suddenly, their comm units sparked alive. Static filled their ears, and then a human voice spoke in perfect Kale tongue. You should not have come. One operative panicked. He raised his weapon and fired into the trees. Energy bolts tore through the branches, burning wood, shattering silence. For a brief moment, the forest glowed with firelight. But then, without warning, the flames vanished. The trees stood unburned. The damage erased as though time itself had been reversed. The Kale dropped his weapon in horror. This is impossible. Zaith forced his team onward, but doubt had cracked their discipline. They no longer believed they were hunters. They felt like prey. At last, they reached a ridge overlooking a wide valley. Below lay a city, human buildings, shining with lights, alive with movement. Roads twisted like veins, machines moved like insects, and towers reached for the clouds. The Kale had found their proof. One operative raised his recorder, whispering, "We will return as heroes. We have seen the forbidden world." But before he could finish, the city lights flickered. One by one, the towers went dark. The roads emptied. The machines stopped. Within seconds, the great city below was lifeless, frozen in silence. The team's cloaking devices failed. They shimmered back into sight, exposed on the ridge. Then the voice came again, louder, sharper, as if the entire valley spoke with one mouth. You were warned. The ground shook. The sky turned black. Every star above vanished, swallowed by shadows. The Kale stared upward in terror as a colossal shape moved through the darkness, vast, endless, its outline impossible to grasp. One operative screamed. Another dropped to his knees. Even Zaith felt his courage collapse. Whatever humans had become, whatever power they wielded, it was no longer bound by flesh or machines. The last thing the Kale operative saw was the valley itself rising like a wave, swallowing them whole. Their ship waited in orbit, silent. It received no signal. It saw no return. And in the Galactic Council, weeks later, only fragments of their recordings reached Kale hands. The final words burned into every screen, in every language. You were warned. No alien may set foot on Earth. The disappearance of the Kale strike team shook the galaxy harder than the lost fleet. The Kale were not fools. They were shadows, masters of infiltration. For them to vanish without a trace meant one thing: humanity was not defending Earth with weapons alone. Something deeper, stranger, more terrifying guarded the blue world. Rumors spread faster than light. Some said humans had awakened ancient machines buried in their soil. Others whispered that Earth itself was alive, a planet with a mind, protecting its children. And still others claimed humanity had merged with the void, becoming something beyond flesh. In the council chambers, voices rose in chaos. A senator from the Volari slammed his fist. If we allow this fear to grow, no trade routes will be safe. Humanity will become a phantom empire, ruling without fleets or treaties. We must act. But another, a quiet elder from the Wyren, shook his head. You do not understand. They do not seek empire. They do not seek conquest. They only defend. That is why they are feared. Because their silence is more dangerous than our armies. Still, pride is a powerful poison. A coalition of younger empires, hungry for power, refused to bow to fear. They formed an alliance, the Dren, the Vaith, the Zoric clans. Together they swore to break the human curse. If fleets had failed and shadows had failed, then perhaps faith would succeed. The Dren priests believed in gods of war. They said no mortal could match divine strength. If humans held power, it must come from false idols, tricks of the mind. Their solution was strange but bold. They would send not warriors, not spies, but pilgrims. Holy men and women who would walk on earth in the name of faith. When the plan was revealed, many laughed. Pilgrims against humanity? A foolish quest. But others leaned forward, uneasy. For if these pilgrims returned alive, the myth would shatter. The council allowed it. Quietly, nervously, but they allowed it. And so, a single vessel left the Dren homeworld. It carried no weapons, no cloaks, no spies. Only 50 pilgrims in robes of crimson and gold, their chants echoing through the halls of their ship. They believed their gods would shield them. They believed humans could not touch the divine. Weeks passed, and the ship entered the solar system. Unlike the fleets and the shadows before, no warning came. The vessel drifted past Mars without a single word from the humans. The pilgrims sang louder, certain of victory. When they reached Earth's orbit, still no weapons fired. No voice entered their minds. No ships appeared. The pilgrims rejoiced. "See," they cried. "The humans fear the gods. They cannot stop us." Their ship descended through the clouds, its hull glowing with the heat of entry. Below, oceans sparkled, mountains rose, and forests stretched for miles. The pilgrims shouted their hymns in triumph. They were the first outsiders to land on Earth since the ancient warning. The vessel touched down in a quiet valley. The doors opened. The air was sweet, the sky bright. Birds sang in the distance, as if the world itself welcomed them. The pilgrims fell to their knees and prayed, their voices rising into the heavens. But as they prayed, the birds fell silent. The wind stopped. The sky dimmed. One by one, the pilgrims raised their heads in confusion. A shadow fell across the valley. Not a ship, not a storm, but a shape beyond comprehension. Vast, endless, like a curtain of night pulling across the sky. The pilgrims trembled. Their chants broke. And then, as with all who came before, the voice returned. Cold. Final. You were warned. The ship was found weeks later, drifting empty in space. Its doors open. Its halls silent. No bodies, no signs of struggle. Only a single line burned into every wall, written in fire no tool could erase. No alien may set foot on Earth. The empty pilgrim ship terrified the galaxy more than burning fleets or vanished spies. Armies could be defeated. Shadows could be outplayed. But 50 souls disappearing without trace? That was something else. It was not war. It was judgment. In the grand halls of the Galactic Council, silence ruled. No senator raised his voice this time. No priest claimed victory. Even the proudest empires lowered their eyes. The warning had become more than a law. It had become a truth carved into the bones of every world. Yet not all could accept fear. Ambition whispered in corners. The great minds of the galaxy, the scientists, the philosophers, the seekers of knowledge, argued in secret. If we surrender to terror, they said, we will remain children forever. We must know what the humans are. A coalition of scholars was formed, calling themselves the Circle of Reason. They did not want conquest. They did not want wealth. They wanted only to understand. Why was Earth forbidden? What had humanity become? The Circle built a ship unlike any before. No weapons. No armies. Only instruments, sensors, libraries, and minds sharp as blades. They called the ship Revelation Star. It carried the most brilliant scientists from 6 species, each sworn to seek truth, even if it cost their lives. When Revelation entered the solar system, it did not hide. It sent a message clear and humble, broadcast in 1,000 tongues. We come not as conquerors. We come not as thieves. We seek knowledge only. If humanity forbids it, we will turn away. For the first time, there was an answer. Not a warning. Not a threat. A voice, calm and distant, spoke through their channels. You may look. You may listen. But you may not touch. Relief spread among the scholars. They had been granted permission, something no one else had received. They turned their instruments on Earth, recording every detail. They studied its atmosphere, its oceans, its magnetic fields. They marveled at the complexity of human networks, the quiet strength of their machines. But the deeper they searched, the stranger it became. Signals vanished without trace. Data rewrote itself mid-transmission. Telescopes showed cities, then forests, then deserts, all in the same place. Maps shifted as if the planet itself was alive. The scientists argued endlessly. Is this illusion? Is this defense? Is this choice? Then, one night cycle, the lead scientist, a Terran named Solak, whispered as he stared at the screens, "It is not Earth we are studying. It is Earth that is studying us." Suddenly, alarms filled the ship. Lights died. Gravity twisted. The scholars screamed as shadows crawled across the walls, forming words in every language they knew. You were told not to touch. The circle of reason tried to explain. We only observed. We only looked. But the shadows replied, colder than void. Looking is touching. Your eyes press against what you do not understand. You will not look again. Moments later, the revelation was gone. Not destroyed. Not broken. Gone, as if it had never existed. Yet a single message escaped, carried on a signal burst that reached the edge of the galaxy. It contained only one sentence, signed by the Circle of Reason before they vanished. Humanity is not defending Earth. Humanity is Earth. Suddenly, the revelation shuddered as if gripped by an invisible hand. The hull groaned, lights flickered, and every instrument went black. The scholars clung to their seats, fear twisting their voices into screams. Then the void outside their windows shifted. Earth no longer looked like a planet. Its oceans glowed with patterns, its continents pulsed like veins, its clouds spiraled in deliberate shapes. It was alive. Not metaphorically, not in myth. Truly alive. A voice filled the ship, not only through speakers but through bone and blood. You looked too deeply. You touched what you could not hold. Solak, trembling, raised his voice. Please, tell us what you are. Are you humans? Are you gods? Are you Earth itself? For a moment, silence. Then the answer came, vast and final. We are both. We are neither. Humanity and Earth are one. The planet is our body, the stars our eyes, and the void our breath. We warned you because we remember what came before. We will not allow it again. The scholars did not understand, but terror sharpened their instincts. They begged for mercy. They promised silence. They swore they would never return. But the voice was cold. Knowledge spreads. Fear fades. Ambition always returns. This must end here. The ship twisted, folding in on itself as though swallowed by an unseen ocean. One by one, the scientists vanished, their screams cut short. Within seconds, revelation was gone, erased from existence. Only one thing remained, a signal burst that leapt across the stars faster than light. It carried a single message, broadcast to every empire, every council, every colony in the galaxy. The words were simple. No alien may set foot on Earth. This is the last warning. Panic swept the galaxy. The proudest empires bent their knees. Trade routes shifted to circle wide around the solar system. Maps marked Earth not as a planet, but as a wound in reality. And yet, in dark corners, whispers still stirred. Ambition never dies. Some wondered if humanity was truly untouchable. Others wondered if perhaps the secret of their power could be stolen. But in the hearts of most, one truth echoed louder than greed, louder than pride, louder than hope. The humans had spoken, and the galaxy would never forget.